The Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out in like, what, a month and a week? June 5th. And in anticipation of that, Nintendo has just updated the Switch 1, the OG Switch. This is some stuff that they actually announced ahead of time. And some of this stuff is going to transition over to the Switch 2, obviously. But there's one thing that is really important that nobody knew about. Nobody. And some people are going to be a little disappointed if you already traded in your Nintendo Switch toward the Switch 2, because they added something that just didn't seem like was going to happen. But we have version 20.0.0 that just released. We have a few updates. I'm going to show you this stuff. We had like, I believe, 7 icons on the bottom of the screen on the Switch. And now after this update, we have a couple new ones. So we have like 9. But okay, with this update just released, we got virtual game card, game share. Okay, we knew about these, right? And then this is the big thing. System transfer to Switch 2 has been added under system settings. System. We'll take a look at this stuff real quick. For users that will lose access to their Nintendo Switch before receiving their Switch 2, there is an option to upload your system transfer data to a dedicated server, which then can be retrieved on your Switch 2 after you upload your system transfer data to the dedicated server. The Nintendo Switch system will be initialized to factory settings, so only perform this transfer if you'll be able to complete the transfer on the Switch 2. So essentially, only do this like, hey, you're done with that Switch, because it's going to factory reset it, right? So if you want to continue using your Switch 2, you have Switch 2, we recommend completing the system transfer using the local communication. Okay, so what is the requirement? An internet connection and Nintendo accounts required. For more information, see the system transfer from Nintendo Switch to Switch 2. Doesn't look like you have to have like Switch Online or anything, like a paid membership. At least it doesn't say that, right? I'm not seeing it. But okay, so they explain, you can go to system settings to system update, because I wasn't prompted. I had to do that. So let's jump over there. Okay, so here we go. So I'd already did, as I showed, the update. So now we have these extra icons on the bottom. And I'm gonna take a look at these. I haven't messed with any of this yet. But I think, did they change the news icon? I think it was a different color, because I don't remember it being green, but now it's green. Okay. We got some news on there. eShop. It looks like they kind of, I don't know, they changed it all a little bit. But now we have game share and virtual game cards, right? Okay, so real quick, I want to take a look at that Switch 2 transfer thing. The upload to transfer your Switch 1 to the Switch 2. So there it is, system transfer to Switch 2. I did check this a moment ago. I'm just kind of redoing part of this video. When I tried this, I don't want to do it because I'm not like getting rid of the Switch. But when I tried it, it said that the servers were undergoing maintenance and it wouldn't work, right? So you click on it, it says you keep playing compatible Switch software on the Switch 2. Make sure your Switch 2 is nearby. You click, I don't have a Switch 2 yet. When I was clicking on this, it kept saying that there was server maintenance, but now it should go through, but I don't want to do it. So this is the process that you go through if you're going to trade in your Switch 1, or you're going to sell it to get a little extra change to buy the Switch 2. You take advantage of whatever deal they got going on at GameStop, that kind of thing, to make sure everything transfers over easily to the Switch 2. So that's it. But if you do it, like, this is going to, if I do it right now, this system is going to go back to factory settings. So I don't want to do that. Now, let's take a look at some of the other stuff they got going on here. So I was messing around with the virtual game cards. I'm trying to get one of my kids' Switches updated, because I actually think this is kind of neat the way it works. But so right now, like game share, you can't really do anything with, but the virtual game cards you can. So Switch 2 users can use game share and you can play together. So right now there's, I don't know, it's like searching for game share. There's no game share. Go to about game share. It says nearby Switch 2 users can share compatible software. You can play together using game share. So I mean, it's not anything that I can demonstrate right now, right? But the virtual game cards. So like, I think some people may be kind of confused with this, and it's not that complicated, but I think even in my head I was kind of like, what the hell's the point? This just replaces the wording for digital games. That's all it is. That's all it is, essentially. But with that comes a lot of new features that I think is kind of neat. So that's all this is. Virtual game cards just means that they're digital games. I know I'm somebody who loves physical games, but I do have a lot of digital. A lot of it's because of, reviews and stuff like that. It's just the way it is. And some games are just, digital, just how it goes down sometimes. But the one thing too is, why is that one? Oh, okay, load onto the system. So that's, if it shows the little icon that's kind of perforated for the cart, it means it's not loaded. So then you can load it to your system. So Avenging Spirit, I'll go ahead and load it. It's loading the virtual card, and then it's set to this system now. If I had another system, it's going to download it too. That's the one thing. So when you're doing that, it's like downloading the games. It's just listing all. I kind of like that it lists all your digital games in one spot, but this also like works with DLC. So you'll have virtual game cards for DLC. But the neat thing is you could share this stuff. Now, let me double check my son's Switch. I just updated his. Yeah, it's green screen. It's kind of messing it up. But I just updated his to 20.0.0. Reason being is because you can share, right? So, as an example, like Five Nights at Freddy's, I can load this onto another system. I don't want to, but it says to load a virtual game card in another system. That system needs to be linked with this system. I don't want to link another system. I do have another system, but I don't want to do that. But I have a family group, so this is going to be kind of a thing that not everybody's going to be able to utilize, but I can. I have a family group that's maxed out. I think like 8 people total. Like my family, and then like my sister and her kids, stuff like that, right? So I like this. You can lend your digital games to people on your family account. And other people, it's not just, they don't just use their family membership for their family. They'll use it to like get the yearly membership cheap as heck and just kind of divvy up the cost, right? You could do that with a bunch of buddies, friends, strangers on the internet, whatever the hell you want to do. It's got to make sure you trust whoever's the main person who runs it, because they can kick you off of the account once they take your money. So just, however you go about it. But I know a lot of people utilize this differently, but I like this. So select a user. I can't select anybody else on here because nobody, from my understanding, has updated their Switch yet. But I can lend it to him because his Switch was just updated. But if I go to somebody else, it's going to say this error: user has not linked a Nintendo Switch system, so they cannot borrow virtual game cards. That just means that their system is not up to date. That's the only thing. So I'm gonna lend Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit to him, and it's going to show on the other system. Open the home menu and then select virtual game cards. Bring the system close to one another. Oh, okay. So I'm going to do that now. So you do have to be physically near the person. So I'm lending it. So you got to do this with your friends and family. So there we go. Boom. Lent. That's neat. So for a couple weeks, I mean, not everybody's going to be able to utilize this. I lent it out. Now I wonder, like, oh yeah, I was going to say, what if I'm like, man, you can't play my game no more. Give it back. Yeah, I could collect it, right? it will be returned and a borrower will lose access. No, I don't want to do that. What are my options? View details. It's lent out. Okay. I mean, that's neat. And then it shows the little icon down there of who I lent it to. So that's cool. We got a couple new things going on here. Virtual game cards, you can lend them to your family group member, but physically you got to be near each other to do it. Would be cool if you didn't have to be. Game share is now part of the system, and then that Switch 1 trade in, transfer, system transfer, cloud, if you're getting rid of your Switch 1 to get a Switch 2, so you can get rid of it before you get your Switch 2 if you got to trade it in or something, right? Cool stuff, man. Let me know what you guys think. Just giving you a heads up. Thanks for watching. Bye.